So when we come in here, a good part of this is intuitive, but then there are a few things that we need to go over to make sure we're all on the same page on how to add the content. A good part of this overlaps with River Parish, the parts that are a little bit more obscure, and so if you're already familiar with that, that's helpful, and if not, then this should still cover it well enough. So on this first part here, then we have the school name up here just like always. Those all should be in place. We have a shortened school name, not something we've ended up using too much on the site, but at some point it was added for some reason, and we'll leave it there just in case we need to use it one day. And there is a school logo, school mascot, school website. These things should already be set for the most part. Hopefully they are. If not, then you can add them. Under sports, then you can add whatever sport you need to add. So as an example here, if we want to add basketball, we're going to type in the name basketball. And then we get to choose the season or seasons that it's a part of. And for the most part, it's going to be for a single season. But just in case, we made it so these are check boxes so you can choose more than one if needed. And then we have our relevant categories down here. These are the categories that posts are categorized in already, the articles that are on the website. And so for the most part, you're going to end up having it be that you choose your school. And so this is Mount Carmel. And then for a sport, we're going to say that it is basketball. And then that's probably all we're going to need to do. And it could be other things too, but normally it's just going to be those ones. And if we come over here to schedule and record, this part here should be identical or nearly identical to what's on River Parish Football with how this works. So we click Add Row for adding a new season here. And so we're going to say this is the 2019 season since we don't have the old things. And we're going to skip over roster for right now. We'll get back to that in a moment. For our record, then we're going to say that then we're going to act like we're already into the season a little ways here. And so we have 5 wins and 2 losses and 0 ties. For the schedule here, then you can just add rows and you choose your game date, and that can be in the past or in the future, either one. And so we just pick out a date here that's random, and then we say who the opponent was, and big school is the opponent, and then you have a related story, and so we're going to say Carmel so that we have something. There we go, and we're going to say that's the story right there. I'm not, I'm not too sure if we have anything set up actually with the photo gallery part of this functionality right now. Don't think we do. You have a result of a win or a loss or a tie or not yet played, and then you can put in the score right here. And then you add in the next one. So you can do that here for 2019, but you can also then go back and add it for previous seasons if that's something you're desiring to have set up in that way. So we can add another row here, and we can have it for a different date. Up here's where we need to do that. So then we have 2019, so we can also do 2018 like this and go through and do the same thing. Now for the roster, then this will open up in a new tab here. And then I'm going to make a separate training video on actually the importing of the roster information so that then it's easier for viewing in the future for George and such. But basically what's going to end up happening is you're going to import information set up in a simple 2-column Excel sheet, and then you're going to put the short code for it right here. And then the only other thing we're going to have here is coaching. And then for the coach, then we just have a coach name and a coach image. Looks like that's actually not set up the right way, but what will happen here instead is it'll say add file, and then you will just select your image from the media library. I'll fix that up in just a moment. And then you can add as many coaches as you want for this sport. And but really, we're probably only going to have one per sport. If we're wanting to actually do more than one, then we'll need to make sure we know that so that we can style it correctly. For the most part, that should be everything with the sports part of things here. You get to add whatever number of sports you want. And then the only other thing we have here is other content, and these are page sections, so you can give it a title. Title just lets you organize it better, and then down here it's like any other place on WordPress where you add images. You can add any sort of content that you want in here, text, sliders, anything of that sort. And then you can set the background image, background color. We have some spacing options and then a few advanced options. And this is used throughout the site in some different places. So Hopefully you can become familiar with that, and it just shows up then at the bottom of that whole section, not at the bottom of that individual sport, but at the bottom of the entire section. So hopefully this covers most of what is needed for the schools, and then if there is anything that's missing, make sure to let us know so we can get that added in there. And then in the meantime, we will be styling this all up so it will actually look correct on the front end. So hopefully that will get us a good part of the way there, though.